Fucking, wanna play a game? Let's play a game.
Well, I'm just sitting here, minding my own beeswax today, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Frauditor Follies comes in with a chair and tells people that I somehow had something to do with doxing his producer, of whom I never heard of until he came over to my channel and said that.
Lies.
So I have that going on today. Here's the StreamYard link in case one of you guys want to come on up and just talk to Uncle Titty Boy for a little while. I'll pin it right there at the top for you for your earliest convenience. Let me know ahead of time, though, if you're going to go backstage, and I will bring you up. And once again, if I don't know you, probably won't put you up. But if I know you, or if I know of you and I've seen you around, most likely I'll trust you enough to put you up on my beautiful, luxurious panel. And we always fly first class around here. I always aim to titify, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was just minding my own business. I wasn't even planning on doing a live tonight. And all of a sudden, Frauditor Follies waddles his little ducky ass in here and tells me I doxed his producer. One moment, please. All right, I'm back. Hi, Mirrors. By the way, let me say hi to everybody here. Mirrors, Irish Rover, HPR News, CRA. What's up, man? I ain't seen you in a while. How's everybody doing? I hope everything's going well. I hope everybody's getting ready for the holiday coming up, getting all those turkey lurkeys, and I hope everybody's got enough stuff to eat for Thanksgiving coming up. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, then maybe celebrate Thanks-taking. You know what I mean? Whatever floats your Mayflower. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I have the StreamYard link up at the top if you want to chit-chat for a little bit. You can come on up, but just let me know ahead of time in the chat that you're going to do such a thing. That way I know, because I'm actually watching the YouTube chat right now. And I always say that, but people always wait in the back for like 6 hours before they tell me that they're ready to come up. So attention to detail. That's what they used to always say to us in the Army. Attention to detail. So I'm waiting on my buddy Frauditor Follies to come up here and say hi, and tell me how I doxed his producer. By the way, is he really big enough to have a producer? I don't even know how many subscribers he has. Is he really that big? I've only seen his channel maybe once, and his voice just repels me like shark repellent, like Deep Woods Off. I just can't tolerate listening to that man for more than about 6 seconds. So not to mention the fact that apparently he plays around with this little weird doll thingy. But no, I can't. I don't even do videos. I don't know, Burns. I have no idea. I don't know why. Yeah, exactly. 3,000.9 subs, and he needs a producer. I mean, who the hell does he think he is? Freaking, I don't know. Anybody that's famous. Any famous director. Was Steven Spielberg? Who the hell needs a producer on YouTube? I mean, it's pretty simple. You have a side chat and you have the main chat. And other than that, I don't know why you would need a producer.
We know you can't understand this concept, but there are people that actually do shows, and not just go live to bash and spread lies about people. Any imbecile can go live, but even he knows without assistance, he will have dead air. Every great entertainer knows a great show is hard work alone.
Hey, who wants to be my producer? By the way, I'm freaking. I got 785 subscribers or something like that. Man, let me just tell you, I'll tell you what, I need a producer. If there's anything that I've been talking about having on my channel more than anything else, it would be to have a producer. Maybe my producer could maybe remind people to hit the like button every once in a while because I forget to say that, or stuff like that, or say hi to people in the chat for me. Hi Linda, how are you today? I mean, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. How much do I pay? I don't. That's the problem. I don't pay. Do you take EBT? Well, I don't have EBT either, so I can't pay you with that either. But I can pay you in Wrangler coins. I can make some little Wrangler coins, and I can pay you in that. They're probably worthless, just like he is. But yeah, I wasn't even planning on doing a live. I was going to have a nice, relaxing evening, maybe work on my next video, and just do my thing. I'm actually halfway thinking about doing one on Frauditor Follies next, just because he came up on my damn channel and took a shit. You know what I mean? I don't really want to do a video on him though, because his voice is just horrendous. Like, I don't know that I could finish it. I don't know that I could finish making a video. It's hard enough for me to turn him into Tinky Winky. If you haven't seen that yet, he's on my community page. I turned Frauditor Follies into Tinky Winky because that's kind of how he reminds me of Tinky Winky. I don't know why. Frauditor Follies found a hat. A hat! A hat! Uh-oh! Somebody doxed my producer that I don't need. Uh-oh. And then, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. The other thing is like, I don't have the time to go around to people's channels and like do all of this research into like their producer of all people.
Then who sent you this information? Also, if you will email random people someone's information, then it's safe to say that you would email anyone's. It's a well-known fact that you talk with known real-life doxers and that you lie when you get exposed.
If I'm going to dox somebody, just go for the big guy, man. Go for the guy that's doing the channel, the creator of the channel. Why dox the producer? Shit, go for the main target, man, the high-value target.
Lies. We have the cleats that you will dox anyone in order to get your way.
Hey, sweet Melissa, how are you? That was my Kimmy voice, by the way, because I do have a producer. Might be Kimmy. I might make Kimmy my producer. I'll steal something from Stone Vet. Hi, come on over to my channel. Michael, Tats is up there talking shit about me again. I'm not as good as Stone Vet though. I'm not as good as he is about that. But I don't know, man. Are you talking about someone named? Yeah, I think it's like Hezekiah or something. Yeah, I saw that. Well, now I'm familiar a little bit more with this channel as of tonight.
Lies. You have been emailing and going after him months ago.
Because he comes every once and again. It's like I don't know how to say it. It's like a wart. Like every once in a while you get a wart, but it doesn't happen a lot. At least I don't. I've had maybe 5 warts in my entire life. So that's kind of what Frauditor Follies is to me. He's like a wart that just shows up out of the blue sometimes, and you just don't know where the hell you got it from or what the hell happened. But all of a sudden he just pops up and he says something stupid, and then he leaves for about 5 months and then comes back again and says something else stupid. I mean, I don't know. Does he watch my channel? Maybe he does. Maybe he's a fan. Maybe he's secret. Maybe he's my secret admirer. Oh God, what does he do with my logos? Oh shit. Maybe I need to end my channel. I don't need guys doing bad things to my logo. I mean, it's really not big. Well, it might be big enough for Hezekiah. It might be big enough for him. Well, genital warts. Maybe he's a genital wart. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is. I mean, I'm actually a pretty good at getting rid of those for people. When I was in the military, venereal warts were very common, and I had to freeze those off of people using a little liquid nitrogen gun that had a very fine point to it. And what you do is you actually freeze it until it turns white, and then it thaws out a little bit, and then you freeze it again, and then you just let it be, and then eventually it grows black and pops right off. Apparently, I've never had those things, so I wouldn't know exactly. I've never seen the entire stages, all the stages play out. But from what I hear, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So once you have them, they're there forever. Like The Sandlot, right? Who likes The Sandlot, by the way? I love that movie. I like The Sandlot. It's a good movie. Forever. Oh, was he porking his producer? I don't know, man. I don't know, but that would be a disgusting thought. You know, I mean, I once heard something called a pig rodeo, and I don't want to go into details about it, but it does have something to do with getting someone of, let's say, his stature into your apartment or wherever, and then you have some friends hiding somewhere, maybe in a closet or something, and then at a certain point in time, you got to hold on to the biggin, the person like her or him, I mean, and then when your friends come running out, they get time to see how long it takes for them to buck you off. I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying I've heard of such a thing.
What? Didn't you just say that you didn't do this type of behavior anymore since you kidnapped and hazed that man in the army? Let's hear exactly what you said.
Well, I mean, look, I'm just telling you, that's just what happened. I'm not the same person I was back then. And I'm sure Wrangler is very familiar with that, being the pig on that side of things. But
Typical. Placing the blame onto others that you don't like for what you do. That's something that you are good at doing. We have many episodes of you doing that exact thing.
I mean, maybe him and maybe him and Kfar, and maybe even Frauditor Follies play hide the stinger every once in a while. I don't know. I mean, by the way, did anybody happen to see the comments in my community section where somebody was saying like, "Oh, Fraud Wrangler just embellished his career a little bit, his military service a little bit, but he was medically discharged, and you guys picking on him is worse than what he did. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Like, what world do people live in when they think calling somebody out who built a YouTube channel, which is profitable for him, right? It's profitable. I don't know how profitable it is. I haven't gotten really paid yet from YouTube, so I don't really know how profitable it gets. I don't think it it is that profitable, but I mean, I guess some people make a living from it, right? I mean, it depends. Big Bork Little Bite. What are you talking about? First of all, don't see people come into my chat as if I already know what you're talking about. That's not the phrasing, my guy. Well, what phrasing would that be? What would for? Oh, I know who you are now. See, I'm not familiar with you, so now I recognize you. No, you basically said he just embellished his career. He embellished, but what we did by picking on him was much worse, much worse, disgusting as a matter of fact, right? Right? Disgusting. I mean, calling him out for building his channel off the backs of wounded soldiers and their families who suffered through it with them.
Stop embellishing. The facts are, he lied about his service. He did not use someone else's service as you just tried to portray. So therefore, you are just like him, to the simple fact of embellishing the truth for ratings. Like when you said many times that you paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Is much worse than calling him out. We're bullying him. Oh God, you remember Thundercats? Snarf, snarf, you're bullying him. You're bullying Kaiser. He's such a good boy. He's a disabled veteran. Snarf, snarf. I mean, come on, give me a break. Give me a break.
Hell no. You aren't a Kit Kat bar, but we would like to break something on you, but we aren't the Dik-Tator or Dirty Diaper Gang.
He's not listen. Calling Kaiser a veteran is, you're using that term in the that term's very generous when it comes to calling Kaiser a veteran. The only reason why he even has veteran status is because he injured himself somehow in basic training. Other than that, had he not have injured himself in basic training and he still would have failed basic training, which I would imagine he probably would have anyway, right? Since he failed the first time. Calling somebody that hasn't passed basic training a veteran is, oh man, it's very hard for me to call somebody a veteran that did what he did do or didn't do. I mean, come on, at least spend, how about this? At least spend that 180 days. You know what I mean? Well, Big Bork, here's the problem with that. You ready? I'll tell you what my problem is with that. For people that share subscribers in common with Fraudit Wrangler, such as Frauditor Follies, right? He shares subscribers in common. And there are still people, I mean, not more than a week ago, Tube Socks, yes, Tube Socks, believed Fraudit Wrangler to be a Army Ranger and a combat wounded veteran. Everybody assumes that everybody already knows about Wrangler. But that's not true. Because when I talked to Tube Socks the first time about this...
Right? You want us to believe that someone like Tube Sock hasn't heard what was being said. You really are an idiot.
Tube Socks said, "What are you talking about, dude?" He said, Wrangler's a combat wounded veteran and an Army Ranger. You better back that up with some facts. I mean, if the guy who moderated for his channel didn't know, then I wonder how many. Well, you can't really say that, though. You don't know who the last one is. There's some people out there that are probably in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, because there's so many people in that age bracket that are hanging out on YouTube.
That aren't keeping up with all of this, right? And they're still going, "Here's $10 for you. Thank you for your service, Mr. Wounded Veteran. I always wanted to support a wounded veteran. Now I can pay you directly." Come on, give me a break. Give me a break.
Hell no. You aren't a Kit Kat bar.
So if you have an anti-audit channel, and you haven't called Fraudit Wrangler out for his fake military claims, then to me, you're just as guilty because you know you have subscribers that watch and enjoy your videos as well that go over to Fraud at Wrangler frequently. And if you have the opportunity to allow them to understand what Fraud at Wrangler has done, maybe that one more person that doesn't know what Fraud at Wrangler did can save that $20 and donate it to an actual wounded combat veteran. Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah. Anti-auditor channels. You must do what he says because he paid the ultimate sacrifice, so you did not have to.
Is there something wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, no, Tube Sock is not Fraud at Wrangler. I don't believe so. I don't believe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he's that. Maybe he is. But he does a very good job at being Tube Sock and Fraud at Wrangler and Kimmy all at the same time. I mean, I'm just saying that's pretty talented. No, I didn't think he was. But well, you know what? There is no team when it talks when it. Well, and I agree with you, Mr. Mack. I think that the problem is, and actually, my channel was 100% in support of all auditors. I'm Honest Abe, and I'm here to back up every auditor, no matter what the fuck they do. But that tone has changed with me a little bit. Do you know why? Do you know why that happened? Because I started to realize that these people that would make videos that I felt all warm and fuzzy about, and they would thank veterans, and I would get on their chats and they would go, "Thank you for your service, my good man. You served our country and you were willing to put your life on the line for the First Amendment rights that we so enjoy and we make our money off of YouTube from." And so I go, you know what? I'm going to back these guys with my channel. But then when I start going, because I'm going to tell you what I used to do. Before I ever had a channel, I was the guy who would send in hundreds of emails. I spent hours doing that, sending email after email, making phone call after phone call, all polite, by the way. I didn't curse at anybody. I didn't threaten anybody. I didn't do any of that. I don't believe in doing that at all. I tried to make my case about whatever happened, and then I sent them an email, a polite email, and just kind of laid out what I believed happened and what they should do to correct it or whatever, but nothing bad, right? I did that in support of tons, and I started getting quite the reputation for that. My channel, actually, I didn't really have a channel. I was just a viewer, and I was known as Honest Abe.
Honest Abe, huh? Would that be the fake veteran that trolled auditors and hung out with pervs? Careful. We just heard a guy say he will attack subscribers who associate with someone he deems bad.
On that. So I was Honest Abe, and I would go around to all the different channels, and I would support them in that effort. And what I would do after I would send the email is I would tell the auditor, "Hey, I sent this email for you," and I would post it on their comment section so they can read it and see, if I hit all the points that they would like me to hit. So I was very dedicated to that kind of thing, right? And so I got so frustrated that I couldn't help these brave, patriotic auditors out. So I decided to come up with a channel. I didn't even know what the hell I was going to do. I just said, well, maybe I can make a channel. I didn't want to audit because I can't really audit.
You didn't know how to audit, or you were too scared to audit. But anyway, you decided to make a channel where you could hide and tell others how and what to do, then attack them when they didn't listen to you. Makes sense coming from a coward.
So I didn't want to audit. I just wanted to make a channel that would support them, and I didn't know what that would look like. But I started off just making. So I said, you know what? There's this anti-audit group over here that are saying things that may or may not be true, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to debunk their debunking. right? That's my channel. That's my channel. I'm the troll that audits the trolls, right? So that's how this all started. And then as I started getting to know people on a personal level, because I started getting auditors communicating with me offline on through emails, through different means, and I started getting to know some of these people, and they're not. A lot of them are not who they claim to be online. Shocking, isn't it? Shocking, breaking news, breaking freaking news, right? Maybe I was like one of Wrangler's last supporters. I was one of the last ones to kind of figure this out, right? And so I said this, look, I'm going to still support some auditors out there, right? But I'm still going to support, I'm also going to, so what I'm going to end up doing now, my channel is basically like this. I'm going to criticize auditors and give them constructive criticism where I believe they need it, which a lot of them do. Oh my God, it's an insurmountable task almost, especially with some of their mentalities out there, which some of them don't have the brain cells God gave a fraud at Wrangler. And then I am going to criticize them, but I'm also going to criticize the other side, the anti-auditors, because they put out just as much fake information as a lot of the auditors do. Now, some of them don't. Some of them, you know, a lot of these anti-auditing channels, and if you read in their about section, they'll say, we debunk auditors or frauditors, they call them, right? And I sit there and I watch their video, and all they do is, like Fraud at Wrangler, for instance, he just comes up with a bunch of insults. That's not debunking. Like, I was kind of hoping for a challenge a little bit. I was kind of hoping for a challenge. I was kind of hoping to get all into the laws and shit and get all up in the Kool-Aid, you know, as they say. And I was going to start doing my research and learn all this stuff and be the guy that knew everything, right? And I debunk them and blah, blah, blah. But that's not how it turns out. It turns out that even Frauditor Troll, which I'm starting to like him at least, because he at least had the guts to call Fraud at Wrangler out. He's the largest channel out there. I'm imagining, I think he's the largest anti-audit channel out there, right? So at least that guy did it. And I give him all the props in the world for that. I mean, I think that was very good of him to do that. And I was just trying to reach out to the larger auditing channels who knew who I was because of all of the support that I gave them, because of all the work that I put in to try to help their cause. But the minute I came up with a cause that was important to me, crickets. And I'm talking about the larger auditing channels, not so much the smaller auditing channels. I had quite a few smaller auditing channels help me out with this exposing Fraud at Wrangler, right? And in case some of you guys don't know, I am officially the very first channel to actually, with proof, call Fraud at Wrangler out for his stolen valor.
Liar. If you were the first, then can you explain why Welsh News Network has a video out 4 months ago, and your video started 3 months ago?
I'm the original one who did it. And a Master Sergeant Retired said so, Stone Vet said so, and so did Shiz. So if anybody has questions, I am the one, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because I initially went off of my knowledge of the military, and my medical knowledge is when I actually kind of made that first video based on just trusting myself, even though I had a request in for the records and whatnot. I still hadn't got anything back, but I was putting my reputation on the line because.
What reputation? Do you mean the one known for bullying, or the one for manipulating disabled people? Maybe you mean the one where you attack people that doesn't do what you say.
I knew I was right. So I made that first fucking video because I just thought it was the right thing to do. I didn't really have a whole lot to go on other than the fact that he told me himself he didn't have a Purple Heart, and he claimed to have been wounded 3 times in combat. So if you're wounded in 3 times in combat and you require 9 surgeries to fix all those injuries, you would have gotten a Purple Heart. So that was the information I used initially to come out and call him out on his bullshit. And then after that, I had the Guardians of the Green Beret were the first ones. The Guardians of the Green Beret, the Sergeant Major, his name's Steve over there, and he simply just sent me a quick email that said, Fraud at Wrangler is not who he says he is. Or Michael William Kaiser is not who he says he is.
Duh. You really needed someone to tell you that. Anyone in their right mind knew that. Not to mention Dan exposed him a month prior.
Thanks, Veteran Fair. I appreciate that, man. And so right when he said that, I was like, bingo, bongo, bango. Now I can kind of take a breath of relief a little bit because, I have at least one organization, the Guardians of the Green Beret, and who wouldn't believe a freaking Green Beret Sergeant Major? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, Frauditor Troll did the first big call out, but I was the very first channel ever on YouTube at all to actually call him out as the fake he was and put the facts out that are factual, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Four Corner, man. I hope they're all doing well. Four Corner, by the way, fist in the air. Some of you guys that are anti-audit folks, which are okay. You're okay with me over here, right? One thing you can say about Four Corner, fist in the air, is he spends a lot of time coaching kids in softball. Okay, and I hope you don't criticize that about this guy. He does good work there. And that's commendable. There's a lot of work that goes into that, coaching a team and everything. Great. Good on him, man. Four Corner, I haven't had anything bad to really say about Four Corner yet. Four Corner, yet. You might feel the wrath of Tats one day, but not yet. Yeah. I know, Linda. I know. I think he had some ulterior motives, maybe trying to get rid of some of the competition. I don't know. Maybe that was part of his motive. I don't know. I can't say what anybody's motives were. I don't really know these folks that well. People think that I do, but I really don't. I know very little about most folks that I interact with on YouTube. I really don't know much about them.
But he will surely email anyone on YouTube, including real-life doxers, someone's personal information.
I just know what I see, what I hear on their videos, and that's about all, really. And you can pretend to be anybody you want on here. That's a magical thing, right? We can all be superheroes if we want to. Just like Fraud at Wrangler, he just thought he was just going to jump in with both feet and be a United States Army Ranger MP with a 13-year career, wounded in combat 3 times, the recipient of 2 Purple Hearts, and he did none of it. Wonk, wonk, wonk.
Only an idiot would believe that story, but look who we are talking to. Question: are you mad because you didn't think of it first, or that you fell for it? You did run around saying you paid the ultimate sacrifice so auditors could sit on their fat ass.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. Well, by the way, I have to ask you guys, if you guys saw my last video on for public safety, what did you think of it?
We don't watch you, but we are sure it's just another video of you telling others what to do.
Did you agree with my assessment on it, or?
Probably not. But why would anyone want to listen to someone that is too scared to do an audit himself? You don't even have the balls to show your face when you attack others. We bet you even wore a mask when you kidnapped and bullied that private so he couldn't report you.
Or was I too harsh? Was I too, sometimes I'm a little bit too forgiving too, you know? Sometimes I'm too lukewarm on things. That's one of my criticisms for myself, you know? And other times I get very passionate and I do not stop. I do not stop. If anything, I'm very persistent. I don't give up easily. Even though I feel like giving up a lot of times, I really do, but I'm not fraud at Wrangler. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. That's the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce. The secret sauce of becoming a soldier is not giving up. You know, there were many times in basic training. Basic training isn't like the movies. Like, it's not some epic, crazy, ridiculously hard thing to do. It just isn't. One of the hardest things about basic training is, for the most part, most of us were people that have never really been away from home for very long, right? And it's our first time away from home. So we miss mom's home cooking and we get homesick. To me, that was really my biggest challenge in basic training. Other than that, I kind of sucked at marksmanship. I couldn't hit the damn sky if I was aiming straight up with an M16. I mean, I sucked with at marksmanship. I bet you I'm the first one that you ever heard that said that. I bet you every damn veteran that you ever talked to shot expert the first time they ever picked up a gun. That was the very first time I ever picked up a gun and ever shot one in my life. Was an M16A2 is what I fired. And I had no freaking clue what I was doing other than what the drill sergeant taught me. And I sucked big time. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. So I failed basic marksmanship the first time through. You had to I can't remember how many targets it is anymore. I want to say my mind is saying 60 targets and you got to hit 23, or 40 targets and you got to hit 23, something like that. I can't remember what the standard was, but so I failed. I missed it. I shot 21 targets. I sucked really bad and I think it might have had to do something with some of you guys that are veterans, know about zeroing your weapon. I don't think my weapon was zeroed correctly. That's really what I think it was. And I also sucked at the same time. But I failed that the first time. Now, if you failed it once, what they do is they'll roll you back. Now, I didn't get rolled back per se.
Liar.
I just joined up with another class during their marksmanship phase.
Liar.
And I retook that with them, and then I qualified with them. But
liar.
I still stayed in my same platoon and whatnot. My platoon was doing their thing, and I would go out with that other platoon and do the marksmanship thing.
Liar.
And you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. I had hit 23 targets, right? And some of your magazines, the clips, some people call them clips, but the magazines that go into your rifle, each one of those held 30 rounds. And they always wanted you to load 30 rounds, but some of those had like 7 rounds and maybe even 1 round in each one. And my drill sergeant, who knew me, walked up behind me and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, Private, I'm not telling you this, but do you see all of these rounds that are laying on the outside of this position here? Do not load extra rounds into your magazine. I do not want to catch you doing that." Well, I knew exactly what he meant. "Oh, thanks, Diane. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $2. And I, of course, when he walked away, I was just like any other 19-year-old, and I started loading my fucking magazines up to the max. And then so I did. I cheated. I cheated. I'll admit it. I admit it. Stolen valor. I cheated during my marksmanship test for basic training, and I passed.
Liar.
Cheated. I probably could have ended up like Wrangler, right? I probably could have failed out again. They probably wouldn't have failed me out. They probably would have rolled me back completely as to day 0 is probably what they would have done.
Liar.
So yeah, I don't answer personal medical questions like that, XO. I really don't. I don't answer those questions about my medical. I will tell you about my medical stuff, some of it, but I don't talk about my medical too much. I don't talk about personal things so much about things like that. You know, I just keep those things to myself. I'm not like a lot of people and go, oh yeah, I lost my leg and I hurt my back and I blah, blah, blah. I will tell you that I was beat up quite thoroughly in my job as being a medic, if that gives you an idea. But I'm not going to say. Yeah, I don't know why that matters, to be honest with you. You know, people will tell you that, if he doesn't show you his DD-214, he's full of shit. Well,
That is true. A real veteran has no issue showing that they are a veteran. Only people that are liars seem to have that problem.
let me just tell you this. If anybody goes up to Master Sergeant retired and claims to be a veteran, like I have, in the capacity that I have, I would be out of my effing mind to do that and run a YouTube channel at the same time.
Well, everyone knows that about you, but could you show what was said? We highly doubt that this guy only speaks to veterans.
That would be one of the stupidest things I could have ever done, because he would have busted my ass quickly. Because in case you don't know, the person who I went to get Fraud at Wrangler's records from actually has my real information. Mary from the POW network. I gave her my real information to get those records. And guess who knows her on a very personal level? Master Sergeant retired does. And he's told me already that he has no questions about my military service. And that should be good enough. And if you do have questions, why don't you ask him?
You sound like Toothless now, bullying people and then hiding behind someone else while expecting them to fight for you.
Why don't you ask him? And maybe he'll tell you, maybe he won't. But there you go. I don't lie about my military service, but I don't go into too many details. And I'll tell you why I don't. Because there's so many people out there. I don't know what it is about me, but there are so many people out there that are just chomping at the bit to dox me.
Nobody is trying to dox you. You did that yourself. But didn't you say you lied to 2 brain-damaged people? Your own words, not ours. At least that's what you call them when you're trying to convince people that we bully them.
And I've had many attempts already. Many people out there have already tried to dox the shit out of me. But unfortunately, they were doxing people that I don't even know who the fuck they are. They were doxing the hell out of them, I'll tell you that much. They were doxing the living shit out of them. But they weren't me. So I've been like 50 different people already since I've had this channel, according to certain people. So I'm just saying. And I, the reason why I try to stay anonymous on my channel is because
he's a coward that bullies others, and he blames his wife.
Made a promise to my family. My family said that they wanted me to stay anonymous, and I'm going to honor that promise. That's as simple as it is. That's as simple as that. And many of you, if you had a YouTube channel, I wonder how many of you would put out your personal information on YouTube for the entire world to see. I wonder. Maybe some of you would and have no problem with it. That's okay. But it's my preference not to. And that should be respected as well. So that's the way it is. Titty sweat keeps the bees away. Is that true? I don't know. I never knew that about titty sweat. I don't know. That's the way it goes. But, has anybody tried to come up yet? I don't know. I don't see anybody back in the backstage. You guys are making me hang out here and by myself here. Come on, Indiana, get your ass up there and talk. But yeah, the reason why I came up, in case some of you guys are just coming in, is Frauded or Folly said that I was doxing somebody on his channel. I probably, I mean, if I was to really be 100% honest with everybody about that, I may have watched a total of maybe 20 minutes
Liar.
of Frauded or Follies in the entire time I've done this YouTube channel. I know very little about the dude. Really, I don't know much, but I do know one thing. I cannot stand the man's voice. I can't. I can't stand his voice. Some of you guys, God bless you, you love the guy, which is fine with me. But it's so hard for me to watch. I just can't. I just can't. That's look at my channel. How many videos do you see of him on my channel? You know why that is? I would make videos about him, but I just can't stand watching the dude. I mean, I just can't do it. Dan from WNN. Who's WNN? Called me out for what? What did I do?
They have zero problem blaming what they call bully channels, which means me, Tats, who they spell it out. Me, Tats, Shiz, Wally, MST. I think that's it. They think it's one. They think it's somebody within that group. I can say this. I don't. The MO is nothing I've seen from Tats.
Liar.
And the MO is nothing I've seen from MST. Now, do I have complete exposure to those dudes? Both those dudes are in here in the chat. But it doesn't seem like the way those two dudes operate at all.
It is exactly how he operates. He attacks women over a man all the time. He will email personal information to anyone on YouTube, not knowing who they are, and then say he didn't do it while he points the finger at others.
But it very clearly is the way fucking Wrangler and Kimmy operate.
Typical. Placing the blame onto others that you don't like.